All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to our February 19th Brigantine City Council meeting. We're just waiting to make sure we're online. Are we good, John? Sorry, I jumped the gun. I got excited. Ready? All right, so I'd like to again welcome everybody to our February 19th Brigantine City Council meeting. Can we all please rise for the flag salute? Please remain standing while our Deputy Mayor Karen View leads us in prayer.
Heavenly Father, we ask your blessings on the people who have been called to lead this community where we live and work and play. Grant us the wisdom and courage to know and do what is right and good and true. May we speak out when it is time to speak out and listen patiently and receptively when it is time to listen. May we always be guided by the spirit of community, by the spirit of justice, and by the spirit of love. This we pray in your name.
Christine, can you read the Open Public Meetings Act announcement?
This is to advise the meeting notices covering this meeting have been sent and posted as required under the Open Public Meetings Act.
Thank you. Tonight we have a special presentation, so we'll come down. God knows I always hold it. I don't like to one spot. Tonight we have a special proclamation tonight for all the volunteers of Defend Brigantine Beach. Before I have everybody come up and I present this, one of the things I'm going to say, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you so much for all of the work and all of the effort. This battle that we won is because of each and every one of you. And I'm deeply grateful for everything that you've done. And for people who don't know, like when we first started to realize these ocean wind issues and how bad they were, I can tell you the first couple of meetings that we invited public meetings, we had meetings with elected officials. No one showed up. I kid you not, I had Tim Crable, who's a councilman down in Ventnor. He showed up. He's like, "Where's everybody?" And I'm like, "You're it." When the volunteers from Defend Brigantine Beach got involved and started to really help promote community awareness, people started showing up. I remember being in the community center when Atlantic Shores did the little presentation. And I remember how outraged everybody was. And I said, "Look, I'm with you 100%. I need help." And that's true, because a lot of people sometimes, like things go on, and a lot of people are quick to kind of point the finger and tell you what's wrong. All of our volunteers were ready to step up and help and make a difference and put together an outstanding group and actually did a ton of research. I knew what I knew, but I didn't know a lot. There's a lot of expertise from this group that really helped, especially when it came with not just the environmental impacts, but the financial impacts of these projects. And I think that that was huge. I know some of the position papers that you put together, I was able to share with other elected officials and other community leaders, and it really opened their eyes to the damage that these projects will do, not just here in New Jersey, but up and down in the entire East Coast. And one of the biggest things too is having a voice. It's one thing when one person stands there and goes to meetings and kind of talks about how bad they are, but with the help of Defend Brigantine Beach, we have 150 people. These are real people from the community who have legitimate concerns about how bad these projects are, and it made a huge impact. And I can tell you there's a lot of meetings where elected officials are like, "Can you do me a favor? Can you not have everybody come?" And I said, "Then you need to do the right thing and vote against this," right? So I will tell you that as successful as we're here in New Jersey, there was other groups up and down the East Coast, but I think the Atlantic City Press said it very well when they talked about some of the most vocal and organized advocates in the entire country came right here from New Jersey. They were talking about all of you. So thank you for all of everything that you've done for the last couple of years to put us in the position we're here today. So let me read this proclamation. I was actually just joking with Karen. I think I had to start bringing my reading glasses. I think Ryan made the font a little small on this one. All right. Whereas the need to raise awareness and educate the public regarding the industrial offshore wind projects and their associated impacts to our seashore community led to the formation of a group known as Defend Brigantine Beach. This group of concerned Brigantine citizens had been heartbroken and angered after learning of the numerous unexplained whale and dolphin deaths, including 3 whales that washed ashore in Brigantine and Atlantic City. And while they also feeling misled and deceived by the advocates of the offshore wind projects. The impacts of these projects were studied, and it was found that the environmental consequences were even more significant and damaging than initially anticipated. Defend Brigantine Beach acknowledged the need to take stronger actions and with the aiming to prevent the industrialization of our ocean. They worked tirelessly on a public awareness campaign and established a 501c3 nonprofit corporation to raise funds for their efforts, including lawn signs, billboards, newspaper ads, and rallies. Whereas Defend Brigantine Beach broadened their efforts to include supporters from the neighboring communities of Atlantic City, Ventnor, Margate, and Longport, and collaborated with the citizens advocate groups to conduct further research, enlist the support from elected officials, and fund legal action. The efforts and the dedication of these volunteers led to the cancellation of offshore wind projects, and their contributions have made an invaluable impact on our community, extending far beyond Brigantine. Now, therefore, I, Vince Sarah, Mayor of the City of Brigantine, on behalf of the City Council and the people of the City of Brigantine, do hereby commend and recognize all of the volunteers and members of Defend Brigantine Beach. And we are forever grateful for all that you've done to protect our community and protect our oceans. Thank you. I would like you guys to come up.
want me on the end? Is that what you said?
Yes. Never good with that.
Give them a minute. All right, so we're gonna resume our meeting. That's good. All right, Tiger, do we have an executive session tonight?
Yes, Mayor, we do have executive session. Personnel is the topic.
All right, so we got a personnel issue for executive session. Christine, can you read the resolution?
Whereas the Open Public Meeting Act permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances. And whereas the public body is in the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, and whereas the governing body wishes to discuss personnel. Minutes will be kept, and once the matter involving the confidentiality of the above no longer requires the confidentiality, then the minutes can be made public. Now therefore be it resolved that the public be excluded from this meeting. This resolution shall take effect immediately.
We have a motion and second.
Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, seeing none opposed, motion passed. Hopefully back in about 10 or 15 minutes. Absolutely. All right, we have a motion and second to return from executive. I'll make that. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, seeing none, motion passed. We're going to resume our meeting. George, can you summarize?
Yes, we had a brief discussion on the personnel matter. Future action. Before we move on with the regular agenda, was an extra resolution which we add to tonight's agenda. It's not on public hearings. So I'd ask for a motion and a second to add a resolution regarding participation in the implementation grant. This is resolution 2025-60, and it is for the city of Brigantine to join with the other towns in the county to apply with the county for $300,000 grant for shared services. So we could have a motion and second to add this to the agenda. Have a motion and second.
I'll make that motion.
And then Taggart, what's the what specifically is the grant?
So Mayor, this came out of a meeting that I attended today at the Board of Taxation out in Mays Landing at the county. This grant, it will be us joining the county along with every other municipality in the county for a program called Eagle View. It's a company that flies over once a year and does all the mapping and takes pictures, an aerial. And this is a program that the tax assessor's office would be using. So we would not have to pay for the program. The county is putting this grant so that every municipality in the county would have access to this data from this program. So really, now it would. Now the city of Brigantine has a different program that we currently use. This would be a great addition to the program that we currently use. And yes, you can see.
So we have another program.
Yeah, we started using it a few months ago called Nearmap.
Yeah, it's every couple of months. I think
Once a year, yes.
yeah, so it's a little bit different.
And combine these two programs, the one we currently use and the one we just make the assessor's office seem that much stronger.
There's no further questions. We have a motion second to add resolution number 2025-60, which is participating in the county LEAP grant. We have a motion second. All right. We have roll call.
Lettieri? Haney?
Yes.
Virgilio?
Yes.
Kane?
Yes.
Mayor Sarah?
Yes.
Motion carried.
So that's just to introduce. All right, we need our approval for February 5th, 2025 council meeting minutes. We have a motion second.
So move.
Second.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
View? Yes. Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
Virgilio?
Abstain.
Kane?
Yes.
Mayor Sarah?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Need our approval of our bill requisition list. We have a motion second.
Second.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
View? Yes. Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
Virgilio?
Yes.
Kane?
Yes.
Mayor Sarah?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, this time we're going to open it up for public comment. This is public comment on agenda items only. Yes, Dad.
My name is Frank and Jimmy. I live at 605 West Shore Drive here in town. I got a complaint,
I feel like I'm being.
and I hope you can work it out for me, son. Instead of
All
coming,
right, I'll call you for dinner.
yeah, instead of coming here at 5 o'clock to start this meeting, I think you should start at 6 o'clock, and at 5 o'clock come in and do your exterior stuff that you walk out on. Today I timed you, it was 22 minutes. Last time I was here, it was over 45 minutes and I left. So I would appreciate it if you can sit around and consider starting at 6 and doing your thing at 5.
So we started at 6, the executive session starts at 6. So whenever we start the meeting.
No, your session, you leave here. It never was that way the time I was here. Now, do your session at 5 o'clock in the evening and start the council meeting at 6.
So we have to publicly advertise when the start of the meeting is, and it is a part of our meeting.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's winter time, maybe not many people come out, but when I first started coming here, winter time is a lot of people. Most of the people don't come anymore because they don't want to sit around for an hour.
I think it's rare that we sit around for.
Yeah, we
today
said
was 20
it
minutes.
gets long. It's getting to be ridiculous. So I appreciate it if you can change and do something different.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, there's no other public comment. We'll close the public portion. I'm still calling you for dinner, Dad. All right, so we move into our agenda. We have resolution 2025-54, and this is authorizing the tax collector to issue overpayment refunds as indicated in Schedule A. We have a motion second. Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
View. Yes. Lettieri?
Yes.
Hany?
Yes.
Virgilio?
Yes.
Kane?
Yes.
Mayor Sarah?
Yes.
Motion carried.
We have resolution 2025-55, and this is a resolution authorizing the appointment of a deputy tax assessor, and this would be Katie Melia. We have a motion second. Just to give a little background on this, the county has sent a letter to all 23 municipalities ordering either a reval or a reassessment. We're looking at how we move through that process. We're going to need a lot of work that's going to be done here in the city. So that's why we're looking at a deputy tax assessor to help with that project or to help with that process. Do we have any questions or comments from council? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
View. Yes. Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
Virgilio?
Yes.
Kane?
Yes.
Mayor Sarah?
Yes.
Motion carried.
We have resolution 2025-56, and this is authorizing the award of an emergency contract with Northeastern Electric and GS Services LLC for repairs to well number 5 pump, and this is in the amount of $230,000. A motion second. Motion second. Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
View. Yes. Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
Virgilio?
Yes.
Kane?
Yes.
Mayor Sarah?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Resolution 2025-57, and this is a resolution authorizing a Fifth Amendment to the municipally sponsored affordable housing agreement. We have a motion second. All right, so I guess the reason why we're up to this Fifth Amendment is this is being held up, I guess, in funding from the DCA. So DCA is supposed to work, I guess, with Volunteers of America to put together some funding. The City of Brigantine has put up its funding. What we need to do, have secured the land. This is to create the affordable housing for veterans. So we're kind of, I guess, stuck in the state bureaucracy of trying to get stuff done. So we've given an extension to VOA because they can't move forward without the DCA funding. I'm going to see what we can do with our contacts in the state to see if we can move this along. Tell us it's moving along, but sometimes you hear the checks in the mail before you start to worry. It's the old civic center property. Sorry, I thought you said community center. So are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
View. Yes. Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
Virgilio?
Yes.
Kane?
Yes.
Mayor Sarah?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Resolution 2025-58. This is a resolution by the City of Brigantine, New Jersey, authorizing the contract to purchase a 6-inch floodgate, 6-foot, 2-inch foot. Inch, that's what I thought. I was like, it's way too big. 6-inch floodgate valve and an 8-inch check valve through the core and main LP. This is the amount of $14,019. A motion second.
I'll make that motion. Second.
John, what are we using the check valves for? Going backwards, yeah. That's why I said I thought it was for a floodgate when it said 6 inch. I'm like, that's way too small for our flood. So that's why I had to ask. I got the project mixed up. Thank you. Any other questions from council? All right, seeing none, can we have roll call?
View. Yes. Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
Virgilio?
Yes.
Kane?
Yes.
Mayor Sarah?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up, we have our consent agenda. We have our St. Thomas raffle license number 1099, Temple Beth Shalom raffle licenses number. I was going to do it after the. That's where he told me to put it after 15. I said after 15. Oh, jeez. Say it again. 59. What's 59? I don't have 59. I don't have 59. Thank you. All right, so we got resolution 2025-59, and this is a resolution authorizing the order contract with City of Reno Architects for the design of the new clubhouse at the Brigantine Golf Links. We have a motion and second. Second. Questions or comments? All right, seeing none, can we have roll call?
View. Yes. Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
Virgilio?
Yes.
Kane?
Yes.
Mayor Sarah?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Oh, it is. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. They gave me a bunch of letters today. All the envelopes started falling out. I'm starting to sense a little something here. These guys are trying to do. All right, so we got resolution 2025-60, and this is a resolution of the city of Brigantine to participate in a LEAP grant with the county of Atlantic. We have a motion second.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
View. Yes. Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
Virgilio?
Yes.
Kane?
Yes.
Mayor Sarah?
I'm glad we're able to partner with the county on this, and I vote yes.
Motion carried.
All right, so now we have our consent agenda. We have our St. Thomas raffle license number 1099, Temple Beth Shalom raffle licenses number 1100 and 1101, and the Shake the Shamrock. A motion second.
I'll make that motion.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
View. Yes. Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney? Virgilio?
Yes.
Kane?
Yes.
Mayor Sarah?
Yes.
Motion carried.
At this time, we have our council manager committee discussions. Tiger, for us.
I just want to thank Public Works for doing a good job again. Another snowstorm we had, and I think by daylight, all the streets were cleared. So, thanks.
Yeah, I'd say it was, received a lot of compliments in the morning. I think about 6 a.m. People were so grateful for that. So thank you. Yeah, I like when we get snowstorms like that.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so we'll go to our departments.
First of all, a few months ago, we had a presentation, a lady from, I believe, Market came and talked about construction debris. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. All right. This is good timing. Or where are we in that process? We were talking about doing an ordinance.
So I do have the emails. She did send me some sample resolutions. Where we're at in the process is trying to find a way to make this work here in Brigantine. So we haven't gotten to a point to where we're ready to adopt anything, but it has been discussed.
All right. Construction, yeah. Hopefully, nice.
Is this something that the green team should actually review kind of recommendations on?
I have spoken to them, and they're very, very happy about it. They're talking amongst themselves about it. And
Is there a public education piece of it that we pass it if the building contractors what this is going on?
nice.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Sherry Lilienfeld and I'm from Margate Green Team. but I go around to municipalities to help spread the word on this. Yeah, there's a couple of things on education. First of all, we started this, the Margate Green Team, but now we have a coalition. And you know the power of a coalition with Beyond Plastics, with South Surf Riders of South Jersey, Surf Rider Foundation South Jersey. And so we have all been working together. One of the things we did is we put together a website that has information to help educate builders. And actually, I have been actively working myself personally to put an educational video out there. The educational video is going to explain what the problem is, why this contamination is a big problem that everyone needs to be responsible for, and then what they can do to help contain it. And really, the containment is so simple. It's just it's so simple. You put a hood over your saw and a vacuum attachment, and it's amazing. It does miracles, right? But everyone's like, it's expensive. I got to change my procedures. But anyway, we are here to help with education. One of the things that Margate does is every time a permit's issued, we have flyers in English and Spanish that goes with the permits. And also we have a brochure now that sends people to the website for information. But if you want to talk to me about it off the record about ways to help implement this, we're here to help. I'd even be willing to do an educational program with contractors to explain, you know, why this is so important. And if not for anything, for their own health and the health of their families, because they have their faces in all these contaminants. They get it on their clothes, they put it, it gets in their trucks, they bring it home with them. So anyway, that's it. I do want you to know that tonight, Atlantic City just passed this as an ordinance, 9-0. So they're like the 10th municipality that has passed it. And one last thing I want to say is, to your point, spring is coming up, a lot of construction. Now is the time you really need to do this, because it's going to be everywhere. That's it. Do you have any other questions for me? No. Thanks.
Sure, thank you so much.
Thank you for considering this. I'm happy to work with you.
Yeah, I'd say definitely. I think it's something that's needed. You know, we should do. We just team would share it with the cities, figure out how it's useful.
Very quickly, I went to a Green Team meeting the other night. The community garden is hoping to start their planning in the end of March. Green Team just purchased a water bottle filling station for the police department. And they're also looking forward to the Cherry Blossom Festival, which will be April 26th. There will be a lot of island-wide activities that weekend, and culminating with the third annual Cherry Blossom Tea, which is across the street at the Presbyterian Church. 26th, tickets are now available online. You have to email the Green Team, and they will have you drop off a check at the City Hall. And it's a nice little event. And finally, I am hosting a senior event on Tuesday, March 4th from 11:30 on at the Brigantine Center. A lot of our county officials will be there. County Clerk Joe Girallo, our surrogate Jim Curcio, some assembly members, our county sheriff Joe O'Donoghue will be there. A few county commissioners will be there, and we're going to be talking to our senior population about property fraud, voting by mail, passport and notary services that are provided by the county, living wills, the anchor program, and also Sheriff O'Donoghue is going to be talking about some of the frauds that are going on. So if you're interested, there are going to be a lot of flyers around the island, here at City Hall, down at the community center. Please just RSVP by March 30th. Go have pizza lunch.
Got me a pizza.
Got it.
Go down the ball.
Second ward is still construction on the highway down there for turns and cement and corner ramps. So be careful if you're down there. I also noticed that along the promenade, there's handicap areas where they meet the street, and I've seen a lot of people try to climb over barriers that they put up in order to access the promenade. I would suggest you use it.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, our public works is always at the ready. So, good job. Tell you what, and Reed the Cape, that saved a lot of people's backs. I'll say that. There's all the showing. So, yeah, great job. So, congratulations to Defend Brigantine Beach. What an outstanding job. Incredible. Yes. The long game, it was so important with between our mayor going out locally, pushing everything, state level, Vince Palestino, and Vince had, you know, his people that he had going. Very importantly, Representative Van Drew at the federal level, and along with our newly inaugurated president. It's just, we finally reached that day. We were like waiting and waiting, and just, it was a long fight. And the long game was very important. And Defend Brigantine Beach, and then the actions of the other folks that I just mentioned, along with everybody else that was involved, so important because what we had going on at the state level and at the federal level, the way they were supporting it, we had to hold out, and everybody had to fight tooth and nail to bring this thing to at least a point. I don't know if I'm going to quite say fruition, because I know as Vince's noted several times, you know, it's not completely over, but it's certainly it's certainly on a bit of life support, I'll say. But huge moment for that. And also our electric rates. Our electric rates have already been going up at some to a certain extent, and we don't need it because that certainly has been helping the problem. Industrialization of our ocean. Huge property values, beautiful mountains, sea life out there, birds and everything else. So that's Eagles Super Bowl win. Congratulations to the Birds. They pulled it off. The parade day was something on Valentine's Day. The players certainly looked like they had a lot of fun. There was like depth charges flying through the air, beer cans and everything. Even Howie Roseman did a headbutt on one inadvertently, cracked his head open. But that was something to see. And a real big fun day. I know my son was up there. I was up at the one in 2018, but couldn't make this one. But my son was up. My younger guy was up. Actually, both my sons were there. There and they had a great time. It's really something. Who would have thunk that whooping that they put on Kansas City? So yeah, that's good for everybody in the Delaware Valley, and especially the local here, people in the bars, excited in our businesses. And tomorrow, maybe got another chance just for some celebratory action. I had my Eagles jacket I brought with me. We all had our jerseys last meeting, for our Eagles jerseys, that is. But I got my Team USA jersey, so hopefully the Four Nations, they can do well. And the nerve of those Canadians booing our national anthem, I hope they step out in the ocean, just clobber them. So I think it's actually going to be a close game. And lastly, we just had President's Day. And, you know, obviously, at least we never forget, with so many, obviously, way back in our nation's history, but we had a George Washington, our first president, a man who we ever would have lost that war, he would have been hung. So you talk about courage and wherewithal, really something. And then President Lincoln as well, the end of slavery, preservation to thank you very much. That's all I got.
Sit down to Mark.
John, I also want to commend your team. In the fourth ward, we are seeing the construction from South Jersey Gas every day. It's reminiscent of some old scenes from like Mogadishu. Uh, It is completely torn up during the day, but amazingly, every night, it's all put back together again. Traffic is moving. Police department as well for sitting out there all day and rerouting. It's a big project. It's been a mess, but like I said, at the end of the day, it's all cleaned up and everything's fine. So congrats. Thank you. Jake the Shamrock is coming. Just want to just put it out there that to support all of our businesses in town, but also keep in mind the nonprofits that are all participating in Jake the Shamrock as well. Stops along that route all day long. All nonprofits are open to the public, so please go out and support support our community. Sit there. That foundation does helps. Especially.
We need to reappoint our board of school estimates committee. I'd like to have a motion second for Neil Kane, Paul Lettieri, and myself, Vince Sarah. Motion second.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, seeing none, motion passed. Back to the Board of School Estimates.
I completely forgot. I was asked by Jim Mogan if we could add Maria Sacco in to the Recreation Commission. Maria, Recreation Commission.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, seeing none, motion passed.
Thank you.
Just a quick update. We talked about this earlier, but the county has ordered either reevals or reassessments in all 23 municipalities. So we're looking at our options right now. I know that Tiger attended a meeting with the county. What we're looking at is what makes sense moving forward. Are we going to try to look at doing this in-house, or are we going to look at some kind of county shared service? I will tell you from personal experience, if we can do this in-house, I think that's probably the best way to do it. When we've gone through these reassessments and reevals before, there's only a few companies who do these, and what they're doing large numbers of municipalities all at the same time. I feel like sometimes they're just trying to get it done and get it right. And last time we went through this, we went through massive tax appeals. We actually had to have a line item in the budget for all of the money that people got back from appeals. And you would think it would be a wash, just the county or local taxes went down, it would be that money. If their local taxes go down, the county actually still requires us to pay the county portion on the original rate. And that's where it starts to create issues for our budget. It's nothing that's going to happen overnight. My understanding is that this process can take 2 to 5 years to go through, but we're beginning the process, we're gathering the information, and it's something that seems like we go through probably about every decade. So that's what we're looking at. So we'll put more information out as we move through this process. We're gathering the information. As you can see, we signed up to join with the shared service for the LEAP grant for some of the information to at least get the background and documentation we need. One of the things that we need to do either way is to redo our tax maps here in Brigantine. So we're going to look at how we do those tax maps. And that's something that has to be approved by the state of New Jersey. So those tax maps get approved. Once they're approved, then we can move forward with either a reval or reassessment. And we have to look at whether we do that in-house or with a shared service with the county. So obviously we're going to look at costs, but I don't think cost should be the overall underlying thing. I should also think that accuracy is probably the most important on that as well. So, we'll keep people posted as well. I think in the newsletter, I put that out probably about 2 weeks ago, and then we'll make sure that the Brigantine Times covers that, and I'll try to get it in the Atlantic City Press as well. One of the things I noticed, a couple of reporters that used to cover Brigantine all the time have kind of moved on, I want to say to better or bigger press jobs and bigger markets. So now we're back to trying to work to find our new contact at the Atlantic City Press. But as soon as we have that solved, we'll make sure the press gets a hold of all of our information. All right, this time we're going to open it up for public comments. We have public comments. Just come up, state name and address for the record.
Good evening, Mayor, Sarah, and council members.
So Mario, you got to state your name and address for the record.
Forgot that.
It's okay.
Mario Perucci, 2005 Revere Boulevard, Commander VFW 6964, 121 31st Street, Brigantine. First thing I would like to say, I want to salute Deputy Mayor Karen Buse. February 19th, 1945, 80 years ago, the Marines stormed Iwo Jima. So thanks for your father who was there. I rise tonight to read a proclamation, organization, government entity. Whereas the New Jersey State Constitution grants a property tax deduction to honorably discharged or released under honorable conditions veterans, and whereas the voters of the state of New Jersey increased the amount of the deduction for property deduction for veterans in 1999 from $50 to $150. Whereas Senate Concurrent Resolution number 8-1 and Assembly Concurrent Resolution number 5-8 was introduced in the 221st Legislative Program, proposing a constitutional amendment to increase the amount of the property taxes deduction for veterans, and that's all veterans that were honorably discharged, from $250 a year to $2,500 spread out over 4 years. And of course, the deduction will be reimbursed by the state at 102% back to the municipalities. Whereas the Veterans of Foreign Wars, VFW, carries the voice of New Jersey veterans and has played a vital role in virtually every significant piece of veterans legislation passed in the 20th and 21st centuries, to include the 2019 amendment to New Jersey's Constitution, granting the $250 property tax deduction. Whereas the VFW considers the legislation a priority to allow our lower income veterans and veterans transitioning from military service back into civilian life a chance at the American dream of home ownership. Now, therefore, it be resolved, and I'm presenting this to the council, be resolved that City of Brigantine, we hereby stand with the VFW to ensure veterans are respected in their service, always receive the earned entitlements, and we recognize the sacrifice they have served their loved ones and me on behalf of this great country. So what this is we would like council to sign on to this, that would then be sent to our lobbyists from the VFW to Trenton, and it's already been introduced, but we need support on it. Now, will it happen this year, even if they make some sort of an agreement? Maybe it's not 2,500 over 4 years, but whatever increase, we know because this is an election year, Murphy will be out. He's not really interested in this, quite frankly, but we feel that the new legislators coming in, the new assembly, will support this. And both sides of the aisles, we do have some Republicans that are against this and some Democrats. To me, I can't understand why this would not be unanimous, but it's not. So we have a lot of work to do on it. So I thank you for your time. If there are any questions on it, but I would like you to consider this and back up veterans, not only in Brigantine, but the state of New Jersey. It's long overdue. The tax rates, this council does a great job in keeping the tax rate. I'm just talking generally with the bigger houses in Brigantine, and somebody tries to come in, a veteran, any help would be great. It's been 26 years since there's been a raise on it, and it does not impact the municipality. You will be reimbursed 102% for what that deduction is for veterans. Any questions or anything?
Mario, I would like you to send, if you can, a photocopy of that to Tiger. If everybody's in agreement, I think that we would like to support that resolution. I know there is not enough good things that we can do for our veterans, the service that they provided to this country.
I thank you because this is a community that supports veterans every day of the week, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Mario.
Tiger, if you can get a copy of that, forward it out to council so council can review. And if everybody's in agreement, I would like to put that forward at the next meeting.
As a veteran, I will gladly accept that email and I will gladly pass it on to you.
Absolutely. All right. John Johnson.
John Johnson, 36 Coquille Beach Drive. I would just like to add my personal comments to everything that Mario said. But 26 years ago, we got increased to $250, and hearing tonight that there'll be a revaluation, and that certainly means in the future, we're all going to pay more taxes. It's very few people ever get a lower tax rate when it's revalued. So with that being said, once again, it's for every veteran in New Jersey. We need your support. I don't believe you would not give it to us, but just to say please and thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks, Jim. Still on public comment?
Good evening, council. It's Brooks Garrison, 204 15th Street North. Go Birds. Let's go. And that's a sweater in hockey, right? A jersey and football, sweater and hockey. It's all good. Yeah, I again, just professionally, I use Eagle View. It's an outstanding program. It actually gives you the roof slopes, building areas. You can see any development that happened on the property. It's a brilliant software package and satellite thing. So I came tonight, I have two issues. One is an update on the seawall. If you have one for us, I'd appreciate just an update on what's going on with that. And then I'm here to express concerns about the rod and reel site. There was a zoning application submitted by R&R Development for the for zoning permits and variances and requests that's coming this Thursday. So I just wanted City Council to be aware of it. I've been talking about it since 2021. Here to represent and to document the facts that the site was filled with illegal off-site dirty dirt. And it's been filled such that it can't be mowed properly, which is why it looks like it looks. So that accusation's backed up with photographs and aerial Google also. The other concern on there, of course, with the dirty dirt being the principal issue for neighbors, everybody wants safe housing, and we certainly want to make sure that our neighbors move into a property that hasn't been filled with debris. The next issue would be any variances granted. The redevelopment plan was paid for by council, and at the request of the zoning ordinance or the zoning planning zoning board came to council, recommended it. The study was done. There was 4 lots developed up to a duplex, individual lots. 2 were perpendicular north-south, 2 east-west. And the applicant has decided to come in with 2 fourplex units that are connected units, asking for variances for that and setback variances. So additionally, I've spoken to you about the public trust doctrine, which requires and has been well litigated, allows for public view and access to waterways. That includes bays, of course. I've talked about many times, maintaining the proper setback. So on 13th Street North, 14th Street North Beach Avenue, the proper setback is 20 feet front, 20 feet front, 2 front yard setbacks because corner properties. The application is not compliant with that. It actually sticks out over the 14th Street area, which was vacated by the city after the developer filled that site, put in the riparian wall, and then it's vacated to them. So again, the concern is to maintain the historic nature of that property. There was 2 3-story house on that property. It was 20-foot setback. That's been recorded on Google Earth, and I have copies of it. So I'd like to hand out copies of that. So just to let you know, it's coming up next Wednesday at the planning zone. Contacted the attorney's office, called, sent them a certified letter today. And the documents that you'll receive also, and kind of the history on the issue since 2020. So I appreciate your consideration of that, and I want to thank you very much for the, offshore wind battle has been won for Atlantic Shores, but the war continues. There are 4 current active sites under construction in Virginia. The project is halfway built. $900 million lost this year that the ratepayers will have to pay, and they have next summer to complete the project, which looks in peril if they're already out of money. Then, of course, we have the one up in Virginia, up in Nantucket, where the beaches were closed. That project was stopped. The blades were examined. There's dozens of more blades that have failure similar to the one that exploded and put all the debris onto the beaches, where they're recommending you wear your shoes on the beach so you don't get fiberglass shards in them. BOEM has approved their recommendation, and they are proceeding with installation and continuing that project. So there are 4 projects under construction. They all need to be stopped. So I appreciate the recommendation and your consideration of the concerns I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Nancy Pino, 221 14th Street North. I'm here tonight also wanted to support Defend Brigantine Beach and all the hard work our city council and mayor did. And from the bottom of my heart, I can't thank you all. Like, we couldn't have done it without you, and it means so much. So I'm also here with the concerns of the rod and reel lot, and I have been coming to council meetings and speaking up about this issue since 2021. I have sent countless emails with photographs and complaints about the illegal dumping that was done on the lot. They raised the height of the lot with dirty dirt, and it was set there, and then tore down the buildings, and they left all this debris, and we finally got the city to remove a lot of the debris that was cluttering the sidewalk and things. And then we learned that the city had vacated this street into them. So we were very upset and dismayed about that because we're worried about the public views, our views of the end of 14th Street. And we understand there's the public trust doctrine that you need to keep the views to the residents. I represent everybody on our street will come and petition against this because they're all don't want to lose the views. So I received a certified letter today in the mail, and the letter said that they're applying for a variance, and the variance they want to do is to remove all the setbacks. So they will build to the end of the property. There will not be a 20-foot setback, and they will in fact take over the street with pools and docks. And part of the North End Redevelopment Act that you agreed upon and agreed that that would be the zoning binding says that no deviation shall be granted that results in any of the following conditions. And the first one is any deviation sought that would necessitate the granting of a variance under NJSA 4055D 70D. The certified letter I got today says they're requesting that such variance. So I would just like to urge everybody to consider that you approved a plan that was good for 10 years that would carry through 2029, that no variances would be granted, so that the street residents would not lose their views and or the density. There's something in there about they're going to change the density that was zoned for. So that would be a problem too. I didn't quite understand. I just got the letter today, so looked at the plans. So I will also be at the zoning meeting, and so will some of my neighbors. So we just want to urge you to consider to do the right thing to give the public the setbacks that were approved, and that I was told by the city, Jim Bennett, or the at the time he was the city manager, that when the land was vacated at the end of the street, don't worry, that wouldn't change the setbacks that were granted for that development. So just urge you to consider that. I appreciate your help in this matter. Thank you.
There's not public comment, close the public portion. A couple quick things, I think on the seawall, Brooks, for the seawall, I know the county is working on repairs right now, but there's no new information on the extension. We have not heard anything from the Army Corps, the DEP, or anybody. I was gonna say, yeah, sometimes the state moves a little slow. So we'll follow up on that. I think my own personal kind of concern is that with the governor being in his last year, they may wait, at least the state agencies may wait till the next governor comes in to talk about what direction they want to go. I know the governor is also, he's kind of dug a hole with some of the budgets, and he has requested that the legislature of the state put a freeze on all new spending and any unnecessary state hiring. So that may be holding this up, although that conversation hasn't been said, but kind of reading the tea leaves. So we might not know anything until a new governor's in place. But if we hear anything, we'll definitely make sure we let everybody know. For the rod and reel site, council sets the redevelopment plan, but the determining body on whether or not variances or anything that's approved actually doesn't come before council. It actually comes before the planning board. So honestly, I would come make your statements at the planning board, make sure you remind the board about the redevelopment plan that council put in place, and that really it's that board that makes that decision. And that's something I'm sure that the planning board professionals will also be reviewing, because what they build would have to be compliant. I think that's why they're asking for a variance to say, hey, this is the agreement, but they're going to make an argument why the agreement should be altered or changed. And that's what variances are for. But that's a determination of the planning board. Paul and I sit on that board, but the rest of the council members do not. So definitely public participation weighs heavy with the boards. I would make sure that it's not a change. Yeah, so
driveway, get behind.
and that's something that the planning board, that's what has to be discussed. Yeah, so we'll take a look, but the public portion's closed. We can talk at the end, just so. But yeah, that's, comments and stuff. That's make the ultimate decision of how this moves forward. All right, if there's no further council comments.
Mayor, I do have one update on the promenade. We just scheduled it today. Next Wednesday, myself, John Doring, and Ed Simpson, our engineer, will be attending a pre-construction meeting to get the timelines on some of the major work that's going to happen for the promenade.
That's for the
So,
repairs.
For the repairs.
Of the
Correct.
existing
Yeah, for the
promenade.
existing promenade. I didn't know if Garrett meant that or the
I think
extension,
the extension.
but just in case for the public, we should have some timelines maybe for the next council meeting. It should come out of that pre-construction meeting next week.
And we did make the recommendation to the county about changing the light to use more downlighting, less light.
We
pollution
have made a recommendation and we did pick out that will happen. We did decide on some new lights with downlighting.
So we did carry that. All right, if there's no further council comments, we have a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, seeing none, motion passed. Thank you for coming out, watching your council team at work.